G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Let's go. When people ask why I'm not in our family pictures, I'm going to tell them the truth. A couple of weeks ago, my wife asked if we could have professional family photos taken. I said that money was too tight between our daughter's birthday, a trip to her parents for Thanksgiving, and Christmas. I asked her if we could wait until after Christmas, and she said no. She never brought it back up again. I didn't think anything of it because I assumed that she was planning on taking them herself. The other day, one of my tires blew out, and I went to our emergency fund to cover it. That's when I discovered that she took $300 out of it to pay for photos. $300 effing dollars. I know it sounds pathetic, but when I saw that crap, I broke down. The last couple of years have been horrible for us. I got laid off and she got sick in the same year. We eventually both found new jobs, but we never fully recovered financially. It took months and months of hard work just to get our emergency funds to that point. Now half of it is gone right before Christmas for effing photos. When I confronted her about it, she didn't even try to deny it. She just said that she deserves to have nice photos. I begged her to try and get that money back, but she said no. The photo session that she booked is next Saturday, but I won't go. She keeps threatening me, saying that people are going to ask why I'm not in them and that I'm going to look bad. I'm sure she's right, but I'm counting on it. When people ask why I'm not there, I'll tell them exactly what happened. I don't care if it's in person or on her Facebook page, I'm going to let everyone know what she did. Since having pictures to show off is more important to her than our family's safety, it seems only right that her family and friends should know about it. I feel like I'm married to a stranger. The woman I married would have never betrayed me like that. In the comments, the people who are saying $300 sounds reasonable are missing the point. OP clearly mentioned that his family is going through financial issues and he saved those $300 for an emergency. So his wife had no right to take it without discussing with him. He felt betrayed by his wife. Exactly. It's not like it was $300 just laying around. It had a purpose, and when the time came, it wasn't there. Spending $300 on photos when you simply don't have the additional funds is absurd. Never mind the fact that $300 might not even be the entire price. For sure, it is not the entire price. OP better lock the rest of the funds down before she decides that she has to have a big canvas print for the living room. Why are pictures so vital for her this year? Is she someone who does them every year and she hasn't been able to for the last year? I'd have put the tire on her credit card. It really sounds like she's trying to keep up appearances, all things considered. Having grown up with parents like that, whose kids and some needs were not priority, I'd rather not go hungry and have bills paid than to keep up appearances anytime, all the time. And now, onto the update. I contacted the photographer directly. I didn't think that it would work, but I decided to try it after so many people suggested it. I told my wife that I changed my mind about the photos and asked to see the photographer's other work. She gave me the website. Then I sent the photographer an email explaining the entire situation. I was shocked by how understanding she was. She refunded us right away. The only catch is that my wife is banned from using her services. I had planned on sitting my wife down to talk, however, the photographer sent her an email before I could. She was pissed. She wouldn't stop yelling at me until I told her that I was considering leaving her. She calmed down after that. I told her how angry and disgusted I was that she would act so irresponsibly. I asked her why she would do something like this. She said she deserved nice photos after the last couple of shitty years. I pointed out that we both had hundreds, if not thousands, of family photos saved on our phones. She said that they weren't high quality enough, and that we didn't look nice enough in them. I responded back that we could have just gone to JCPenney or just effing waited and budgeted for them. She said that she didn't want JCPenney style portraits, and that she wanted Christmas pictures. I told her that it doesn't matter, and that financial safety was more important than effing photos. I said if she didn't agree, it meant that we were incompatible as a couple. She apologized but didn't agree. She still wants to stay together and to try to work through our issues. I agreed to try on 2 conditions. 1, We separate our finances, and 2, we do a trial separation. She agreed. We are splitting the bills 60-40, which is proportionate to our incomes, and splitting the emergency fund 50-50. We're also taking turns sleeping on the couch. I know a lot of you wanted me to leave her, but I can't do that. I want to see my daughter every day, not 50% of the time. I owe it to her to at least try and make this marriage work. As angry as I am at my wife, we have gone through hell together. I can't throw that away without trying to make it better. The trip to her parents isn't happening anymore. We evenly split the $100 that we saved for gas. My wife can't afford the trip without my half. She's angry that I won't give it up. I told her that when I said separate finances, I meant separate finances. Besides, after paying for the tire and the tow, my half of the emergency fund is depleted. I need every dollar to build it back up again. I also want to stay in town with my parents. I suggested she dip into her half of the emergency fund, but she told me that she already used it to book a different photographer for her and my daughter. Last Saturday, I borrowed a couple of sleds from a buddy of mine, and I took my kids sledding. I want us to build real memories together, not photos posted for likes. I think that 20 years from now, she'll remember that more fondly than the photo shoot that her mother has planned. In the comments, I think your wife is clinging to these photos as some sort of lifeline, like she's putting them above everything else, like the one thing keeping her sane is this dream of having a nice professional family photo. It seems like a coping mechanism gone wrong, like if she gets this one high-quality photo that makes you all look like a perfect family with a perfect life, then it must be true. She probably wants to put it on Facebook and feel like she has accomplished something. I don't know. I would really try to talk to her about her feelings about her life. See if together you can discover what this is really about. I would encourage her to talk to a therapist. Has she been comparing her life to someone else's more recently? Has she no sense of accomplishment or purpose in life, and this is her substitute for that? Just start gently trying to uncover her feelings together. Like, what is the main emotion driving her to want this photo? I agree. The photos must be an obsession or a symbol of something bigger. It just seems too bizarre that OP's wife is willing to throw away her relationship over something so trivial. Or maybe she feels that she needs to assert herself about money just this once. Or something. There must be something bigger behind it. In her head, at least. Imagine making a big financial decision after such a tough time without consulting your partner and then having an issue when they find out and don't like it. I can't even fathom how a marriage will last after that. And she went and blew her half of the emergency fund anyways, so she literally learned nothing. I admire his grit, but the day when she needs emergency funds because she used all hers for luxury splurges and he has to give up some because it's really needed, like a daughter's medical bill, it will put them back here. You honestly can't just separate finances. They have to split fully. Family photo sessions always cause so much drama. I know this story isn't really about the photos. It's about the lack of trust and the fiscal irresponsibility. But God, do people go crazy over photos? Right? My grandmother-in-law paid for family photos, and she went all out about how we had to wear clothes that matched well. But when it came time for the photos, each subunit of the family took separate pictures, and there was no group photo. Why do we all have to wear matching colors if we weren't all in one big picture? Unexposed is titled, Sharing Interests. The wife and I have been married for 3 beautiful years. The problem is, she doesn't enjoy my hobbies as much as I do. The missus used to happily join me on adventures such as camping or fishing, but now she won't so much as go on a simple hike with me. We have a 7-year-old, and since the kiddo, these adventures have been a little tough to plan and follow through with, which I understand, but it can be hard on me. I like to get out at least once a week to clear the mind, but now that's been reduced to around once a month. She is upset every time I leave on a quick trip to the Rockies, etc., because I'm not helping enough with the kid. I've told her numerous times that they should both come along, but she never agrees to this as she no longer enjoys those types of things. Should I give up on the sights that I love to see and adventures that I can't help but indulge in? I do want to be there for my family, but I can't cut these things out of my life forever. But that's what she expects of me. Advice is greatly appreciated. In the comments, life changes when you have a kid. How often does she get away from you and the kid to clear her head? If she's not choosing to get away, is it because she worries about how well the kid will be taken care of while she's gone? I love hiking and camping, but the idea of doing it with a toddler makes me shudder. There is no way to relax in the wilderness with a toddler. It's hard enough to do when you're at home with one. You're a father now. Life is going to change, and you're going to have to learn how to cope. I'd also suggest becoming more involved in parenting, because based on this post, I'm assuming she's doing the brunt of it. OP replies, "Thanks for the reply. She has girls' weekends and nights out around once a week to every other week. She just doesn't like camping anymore, and she definitely doesn't like me camping either. She for sure does most of the hard work with our child, as I have a job, and I greatly appreciate her for it. When she goes out with the ladies, I'm there for the kiddo, and if she needs a break, there I am. It's no problem, I just want to camp more, is all. Again, thank you." Quote, "Should I give up on the sights that I love to see and adventures that I can't help but indulge in? Well, you can, but you just don't want to. Quote, I do want to be there for my family, but I can't cut these things out of my life forever." So you aren't going to be there for your family? The fact that you added a "but" in there is itself pretty sad. Your family comes second to your hobbies? No one said that you can never go hiking forever, so this is a dishonest, self-victimizing take. You can go when your kids are older. This is what parenthood is, setting aside your own toys to take care of your offspring's needs. Making your wife do the child rearing alone so you can hang out in the Rockies because I love it so much is honestly really immature and selfish. She would love to go lounge in Hawaii or whatever because I love it so much, but she doesn't, because someone has to be the adult in the house, and obviously that's not you. Give a damn about your marriage and take responsibility for your decision to be a parent. You shouldn't be helping as if you're some guest. It's your kid. If she's resentful about it, the answer isn't to insist that you really want to go hiking and go away. Put on your big boy pants and make a change. Ask her how you can alleviate her burden. Look around and take initiative. Let her go out with friends while you take care of the kid. Co-parent with your wife if you don't want her to decide to be a single parent with child support. OP replies, "Thank you for the brutal honesty. I do really appreciate it. My wife has said that she wants to fully cut that part of our lives out, and that really pains me. I really believe that I'm there for my family. Like I said, I cut down my trips to once a month for them, and gladly did so. We had always planned to have our children be outdoor kiddos, but I suppose she doesn't feel that way anymore. I guess I should respect her wishes. Thanks, bud." And now, on to the update. My wife cheated on me and said that it's not her fault. This past weekend, the kiddo and I went on a 2-day camping trip for some father-son bonding time. My wife doesn't like camping herself at all anymore and doesn't even appreciate our kid and I going. This is a big hobby for me, and I want to share this with my son. Usually we argue a lot about trips, especially if I request to bring our child, but this time she was oddly cooperative about the whole thing, but still insisted that she wouldn't join us. I was surprised, but didn't question anything because I was so excited that she was finally allowing us to go, and I didn't want her to change her mind. I thought we had finally found a common ground, and the arguments were ending. I was wrong. We had a great trip and returned back on Monday. We expected to come home to an empty house as my wife should have been at her office for a few more hours. I walked the kid up to his room, and he was exhausted and ready for a nap. After, I walked into our bedroom to find a naked man in my bed. I recognized him as my wife's coworker, whom I have met numerous times at her work functions. At first I was in disbelief and even wondered if I was in the right house, and then my wife walked out of our bathroom, also naked, and I had no more doubts. She looked petrified when she saw me. I have never been so angry. I yelled at the dude to get out of my house so I could speak to my wife. He grabbed his clothes and left, and then we started arguing. I never yell at my wife, as we always want to keep things civil for our son, but I was so hurt that I was screaming. Then my wife decided to get defensive, saying that it's not her fault that I'm barely around and camp so much, even though I hardly go on trips anymore because she doesn't like it. She says that's what drove me to do this. Your neglect to this family. I was in tears at that point. I just don't understand how her cheating could be my fault. When I turned around to leave, my son was standing in the doorway and I felt terrible for yelling. I quickly consoled him, but my wife snapped at me again, telling me to get my hands off him. Now she won't speak to me and says that I can't see my child until I apologize. Apologize for what? She said we could go on this trip. She planned to cheat, and that kills me. It makes me wonder if she has done this before. I'm stuck staying with my parents right now, and I don't know what to do. I want to see my son, I'm worried I really scared my child, and of course I would apologize to him, just not my wife. But maybe it is my fault. In the comments, don't leave the house. It is your property and child too. Don't let her claim that you abandoned your son while she's the primary carer for the kid. OP replies, thanks for the advice. I felt bad and pressured to leave, but you're right. I need to stand my ground. I'm heading back to the house this evening. Reassure your son that he is the most important person in your life. Do not engage with wife, separate your money now, start a book on dates of your camping and check against phone records, and get a nanny cam to protect yourself while in the home. OP replies, I will. Never thought of a camera. It's a great idea. I will pick one up. Thanks, brother. You got a couple of aces up your sleeve. First is let her know over text message that you will be notifying HR at her employer tomorrow about her affair with her coworker. This will get her to respond quickly to confirm in writing that she did in fact cheat on you. You'll need this for your lawyer. She'll likely threaten you, giving you more aces to work with. Do not have a single conversation without it being recorded. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Now is the time to play chess with your wife. Be smarter. And OP replies, thank you. I'm planning things out. Definitely going to use your advice. Whoa, before you do anything, talk with a lawyer. Get a good one. Secure your cash, set up your own bank account, and have assets to pay a lawyer. Back up to the post, we have an update. I'm back now. Decided that it was best to get here ASAP. Things are quiet, but I'm relieved to be back in the same space as my son. Thank you for all of the advice and kind words. It means so much. I'll keep you all updated if you'd like. Edit. Thank you all again for the support. I appreciate it. Sorry I can't reply to everyone. There is a lot of you, and things are tough right now. But thank you so much. And edit in case of any confusion, I am Canadian. And now onto update 2. This is a follow-up to my last post about my cheating wife. For the past week, I have been working with a lawyer to initiate the process of divorce and gaining full custody of my son, with the exception of visitation for now until more is resolved. Things were awkward and tense for the first few days of me being back home. So my wife, I'm only using the term wife to keep things simple and identities private, decided to leave to stay with a guy that I found naked with her. I'm disappointed at the example she's setting for our son, but this makes my decision to divorce even more concrete. I will continue to share as much as I can if that's what people would like, but of course, court has its confidentialities that I must keep within boundaries of. I want to thank everyone for the continued support you have all shown me throughout this tough time in my life. I really do appreciate it. And edit, I just want to note, please don't just blame women and use this situation to be misogynistic. And now in the comments, so she just dipped out on not only her marriage, but also her kid for a coworker? Sheesh. I hope everything goes your way, man. You didn't deserve that, and it's not your fault that she decided to jump into bed with someone else. If she felt neglected in your marriage, she could have sat you down and had a conversation about it. And OP says, thank you. Make sure you don't take her back when she inevitably gets dumped by the affair partner and realizes that she screwed up. You literally were spending quality time with your son while your wife was screwing another man in your own bed. You then decided that it was for the betterment of your son to move back to the hostile environment while she runs off to play house with her affair partner. You deserve full custody. Way to be a great dad, and keep putting your son first. That is so disgusting of her. Make sure that you get full parental rights and use the fact that she left the home and your child against her in court. Also, when you start the divorce proceedings, inform her HR department about the affair. And now onto the final update. My now ex-wife revealed she is pregnant with a man that she cheated with and no longer wants to see our child. This is another, and most likely final update about my ex. I expected my last update to be the final post regarding my marriage, but this felt like a necessary thing to share. Last week, I received several texts from my ex saying she was pregnant with an unknown man's child, obviously meaning she cheated with multiple other people before the one that I found out about. She said she plans to keep the baby and start a family with her coworker. She also mentioned that she wouldn't be fighting me for custody of our son. I told her that I would be willing to split the custody or at least keep visitation rights for the sake of the kiddo, but she insisted that she didn't care about that anymore. I am honestly in awe. I'm shocked that she's given up on everything about the family we had, but I am most hurt for my son. At the end of the day, she isn't worth wasting any more of my energy on. I have been spending every moment I can with my kid, and will continue to do so. I'm starting to feel more like myself again, and I can't wait to get back into adventures and nature. I'd like to say a final thank you to everyone for the support and encouragement. I will always be grateful for that. In the comments, make sure you get a court-agreed commitment for her to pay your son's upkeep. She can't just walk away and pretend that he doesn't exist. All I can say is, be the best dad ever. Your ex-wife practically gave you the biggest head start. Your child is going to need it, and you are most likely going to have to explain this to your child at some point. People like this are such scumbags. I don't get people that walk away from their kids. Make sure you get this in writing so she can't waltz back in, pick up where she left off, and confuse your son. You may also want to speak to a professional about how to broach this with your son. Why haven't you made this public to all their co-workers? OP replies, I actually did. I haven't felt the need to include every detail of this ordeal in my posts. I'm just surprised she's willing to keep her affair partner's baby, considering she's abandoning her own original child. It's clear this woman cares about nobody but herself. Post 5 years from now. My ex-wife who cheated on me with her coworker is demanding that my son, whom she abandoned, spend time with his sibling and doesn't understand why he doesn't want to see her anymore. Actually, it turns out she was lying about the pregnancy. Opie updated a little less than a month ago with that. No further information. I legitimately don't understand why she would make that up, just so she had an excuse to abandon her son? I swear I do not understand people sometimes. It looks like she wanted to be caught as well. If hubby is away for the weekend, you make sure the house is clear for his return on Monday. Instead, they were still wandering about naked. It's not like he was back early either. This right here. It would have been amazingly easy to, well, not be naked with the other guy when she knew the husband was going to be home. If the guy had just left 1 hour earlier, then it wouldn't have been the shit show that it was. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.